Good morning, and Tashi Zangmo. Once again, people who have come yesterday, if you are here, I hope we'll try not to repeat, but it's very difficult to divide from one topic to the another because it was similar yesterday about culture as well. We will start, like yesterday, we will start with a short prayer, and then after we have done with a short prayer, then we will let you repeat with a very common mantra, that is Om Mani Padme Hum. I think many of you, if you're a Buddhist practitioner, I'm sure you are familiar with that. So we can all say that at least 3 times together. We'll practice. And those who are new, you'll learn something, one word. So thank you, and we'll start with a short prayer. Sangye chodan suke chonam la chancho mato dani chasoche dage jiso gebe senam ke dola benche sanje chupar aisho semche tamche dewa dan dewe chodan dembara chuchi Semchen tamchen dewa dempa mi judan demara jurechi Semchen tamchen dungye ki judan demara jurechi Semchen tamchen dungye mebe dewa dambadam mi demara jurechi Semchen tamchen yere chadan yedai dewe tanyam cheme palai ne prai juruichi. So we'll chant the Om Mani Padme Hum together. Like, do you want us to tell you first and then you repeat, or yes?
No, one we will say and then we do together.
Yes, one time we will say and then you'll do together, or you'll repeat. Om Mani Padme Hum. So we'll say it together now.
Om Mani Padme.
Which tune are we going with?
Using the tune?
Yeah, okay. Use that tune.
Yeah. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Thank you. So, anyway, this morning I'm supposed to give you a glimpse of Bhutan by talking about culture and Buddhism. But I think my friend here will elaborate more on Buddhism part. I have studied Buddhist studies in a scholarly level in India. I'm sure you know, in Varanasi. Before I started going to the US for studies and then coming back and starting this organization called Bhutan Dance Foundation. But I have very limited knowledge on practical level, where we are doing the 3-year retreats and really, getting deeper, practice in that. So I don't feel really qualified to talk about Buddhism per se, but we can share and answer questions and try to fill in each other. But in Bhutan, as you know, it's a Buddhist country, and it is very difficult to separate Buddhism from culture. And it's inseparable. So we will always, whatever we say about the culture, it always is intertwined with Buddhist culture. Actually, Buddhism and the culture. And as you know, again, I always assume that everybody knows where Bhutan is, and I just go ahead and talk about it and not give you the a little bit of introduction about the country, where it is located. So I'll just. It is south of China, north of India, sandwiched in between these giant countries. It's a very tiny country with 14,000 square kilometers and with a population little under 1 million. And we were, I'm proud to say that we were never colonized. And of course, when the British was ruling India, but we got a lot of that rubbed off, and we have British kind of terms we use still, and then we have this education system very much like it came from British to India, and we have from India, and it was actually we had only one college in Bhutan a decade ago, and our education system was affiliated with the university in Delhi, New Delhi. So now we have a university, and we have several colleges and all that, because we were working very closely with India. We still do, but that's how our education system came from, and it is very much British style. They say, I don't know where it is now here, but I guess those days it's a British system of education we have, although I don't like it. It's very punitive, I find. we went through education system during my time in late 70s. Our teachers always used to use cane for discipline, and we used to say that's British system. Do you still have that?
No.
Please do away with that if you have. I have painful memories. So anyway, that's Bhutan. It's very although I'm saying there is a British system of education, but if you go there, you will find it completely different. That's what many people whoever visits Bhutan say, that it's very different, and its culture and traditions are very different. But whether it is Buddhism or its culture, I don't know. But as Emma will also fill in with and correct me, that there is something to it, like I said yesterday, that it's very different, that as you land in the country, even when I travel around, when you land in the country, that there is something that you cannot explain in words. So people call it GNH. I don't know whether it's true or not. GNH, gross national happiness. Our fourth king, right now we have fifth king, young king. Our fourth king was enthroned. He was the youngest king in the whole world. That was he was known for. He was 17 years old when his father, our third king, died, and then he came to the throne when he was 17 years old, and that is in 1972. He came up with this concept called gross national happiness, and that is very much the basic foundation of gross national happiness is Buddhist culture, actually. The concept itself, it was generated from the Buddhist culture, because it's the development philosophy. Our development philosophy of Bhutan is called gross national happiness. If you want to know a little bit about it, I thought I'll talk a little about that. I'm not an expert about gross national happiness, but little I know that I thought because everybody, whenever I go around traveling, people ask, oh, your country is the most happiest country in the world, I believe, because you have gross national happiness. But I guess it depends on from what angle you talk about, for whom you're talking about, because happiness is different for every individual. And in general terms, I think, of course, that it is not. It's like the Buddhism had always been there. It's the origin, the land which is original, and it's we say uncorrupted. It's still untouched in many parts of the country, and you can see families living in a very minimum wealth, minimum what do you say, material wealth, but still you can see a certain amount of contentment and happiness in them. With a joint family, everybody helps each other, and there is we don't have whether it is bad or good, I don't know, but we don't have nursing homes. The elderly parents are always looked after by the family, joint family, and then they help look after our children, the grandchildren. So and we don't have to worry about children running around our backyards, and we don't have to attend all the time. It's we let go. And I lived in the United States for almost 11 years studying, and I have a little boy. Now he's 13. I raised him up when I went to US when he was 1 year old, and it was so hard for me having to go all the time wherever the child goes to play games, or you can't let the children run around in your backyard freely. So that's what I have experienced. And when I went back, I was so panicking when I see the little kids walking with a backpack, like 3-year-old walking to school by themselves, on a highway, things like that. Our children, the school, they walk, the government, during my time, the only school we had in that community was a day walk from my home. But now the government has tried their best to put one school in the middle of different communities where at least the child can walk only 1 hour. So our children always walk around, and I used to panic, oh my God, are they safe? Because I have that, different cultures I have lived, and, sometimes it's insecure and that kind of thing. So that thing is still there in Bhutan, and I guess we could say that's part of GNH. And also, but it's not all pure land, because everywhere there is bad people, good people, although we don't want to say nobody is bad, but we all kinds of people we have, and there is sad people, happy people. So, but in terms of why our king has came up with this development philosophy called so-called gross national happiness, is that when you look around in the world, even our neighboring countries, how it's marching towards development, capitalist, and this kind of system, he realized that there is no way our little country, squished in landlocked, and where the TB came to the country only in 1999, and the internet came only in 2002. So when we look at all these things, he realized that we cannot compete with other developed countries in terms of wealth. We can only sustain ourselves by protecting all our culture, tradition, and be content with what we have, rather than marching towards, like, looking at America and see we want to be like Americans. There's no way we can reach there. So that's why he came up with this. It's built on 4 pillars. One is protecting your own culture and tradition. The other one is protecting your environment, and good governance and economic development. Of course, we cannot avoid economic self-sufficiency and economic development. So it's based on that 4 pillars. We try to have, that is our goal, kind of beautiful goal we try to look at when we look at Bhutan's situation, Bhutan's position in the world. So that's why many people get disappointed sometimes when they come to Bhutan, thinking that everybody must be happy and what kind of it is, and then maybe they see sometimes it's not perfect and they get disappointed. But it is better to have a positive goal than to have a so that we can at least look forward. And people who are not Buddhist always ask, how come I don't believe in reincarnation, and I don't believe in the next life. If I get to do whatever I want this life, that's it for me. I don't want to control myself thinking about the next life. I always say that what's wrong with at least thinking there is a better world next, because that only helps us discipline. Because if we think that this is only life I have, we can do anything we want, then it might be chaotic actions that we might do. So I always say it's always better to think that there is a next life, so that we discipline and we think, I don't want to be born into a horrible person next time, so I want to be well behaved, so that next time I could at least we create a good karma or merit. So similarly with GNH, we get to at least think positive, that yes, we don't have so much of everything, and we don't have to catch up other world. We are okay with we should be happy with what we have. But at the same time, like how I went to school when I was young, having only school to walk one whole day, which is impossible to get education for young girls especially. So that is, we have to come out of that somehow a little bit. So it's to, how do we work to meet the basic necessities? That is kind of suffering. So we don't want to be at that level. We can at least move forward and into a development and improving your culture and society, so that we are, all the children can walk only one day, 1 hour. Even 1 hour, it's like when the children get to school, they are so tired that they can't listen to the teachings, so they fall asleep. So these are the situations. Sometimes then you wonder, what is happiness after all? For a parent who doesn't have enough to feed the children, to have enough food in the house is the happiness. So there is so many layers that it comes debate. And then now the outsiders always call us, how do you measure it? Now we are confused, like, do we have to measure it? Because there are some unmeasurable things, like family values, meeting your loved ones, and those you can't measure. So we get into that, how do you measure it? So sometimes we get lost in our own in our own goals. So we are all trying hard to as a human being, as a country, nation, how do we coexist together with the other bigger countries in the universe, societies who are more advanced. So that's where we are. And in terms of, I want to say a little bit about festivals, because we are in the festivity mood here. And in Bhutan, we have culturally our architecture is very different than anywhere else. We are known for our architecture because it is we have zongs. Zongs are a fortress built in every district. Before the kings, there was a spiritual leader, and he has built a fortress, a huge zong in every district and every state. And then that is split into 2 sections. One is for the bureaucratic, the office, and then the other one is for monks. Monks reside in every zone. So in those days, monks were also clergy. That's how it started the country, because I think the Buddhism came since Shabdrung Ngawang Namgyel from Tibet. He came to Bhutan in 1660s. That's when he started uniting all the district kings together and made one country. And that's how we had the spiritual leader like Dalai Lama in Tibet. So that's why I think as a Buddhist nation, it started from him. And so we have lots of festivities, and our festivals are all related to us. Like here, before I never knew in the West this is possible. like Buddhafield Festival, because this is like I get a sense of like spiritual, connected to spirituality and all that. So in Bhutan, every festival is also connected. Like I said, that culture and Buddhism is inseparable. So we have all the festival is related to some religious. There is Mark's dance, which is very famous in Bhutan. Dance, very, very sacred dance, spiritual dance. And when the tourists come, it's always during, I think it's in the fall. We have that huge festival in next to, that's where the airport is in Paro. That was the only airport we had for the last many years. But now we have smaller ones, domestic, but that's the only airport. And everybody says when they get down, oh, I have never seen airport something like this. It's like a palace, because it's very small and it's very, very nice in terms of architecture and all. It welcomes you. So and the festival is around September, and in that area where the airport is, it's called Paro. From there to drive to Thimphu, the capital city, it takes 45 minutes to 1 hour. And it's that the festivals are in different parts of Bhutan. There are this kind of festivals, and we have lots of holidays. The whole country declares holiday when there is festivals. So people get to go in colorful dresses. We have our own costume that women wear this kind of long costume, very colorful. Men wear a little bit like your kilt. It looks like that, it's called kilt, right? The skirt type. So our men is like that, and long socks, and but it's full. They have like hole with long sleeves, and they have a pouch here that they put everything in it. Even babies sometimes. So we have lots of festivals, and this has given us a mood of those festivals. But it's little bit, what do you say? It's a little bit formal though. This is very informal, but we. So we are kind of getting used to this informal. This will never happen in Bhutan. But it's nice. I'm thinking next time, I must, I'm so encouraged that I must bring a group of nuns to do in a tent, the che? People know about the che, the drums? It's a beautiful ceremony that every evening people can do, and I'm thinking if you guys let us come next time. This time our friend Meme had been working for a year to get the two of us. I don't know how we can afford, but otherwise it will be fascinating for you and for our group of nuns. Yeah. So we might think about that. I'm glad it's 2 years from now, so we have enough time to plan. Our nuns will do, wow, what is this? I want to make a videotape of their expression. So anyway, so I have been to some of the festivals in India. Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela is something like this. So with all the sadhus, they are nude, and it's that kind of a sacredness. They have that kind of. So I have been to those things, but our nuns, and my friend has been to some countries, and she's also comfortable with many unusual things. But some of our nuns who had never been to capital city would be fascinating. So next time, let's work together to bring them, okay? I want as many people to contact, and we have a list to sign there. Put your names and email addresses and contact us. Our numbers are there, so we can, if you guys have any resources, people that we can work on that, and it will be fun.